Good morning. Good morning. How everybody doing? Um, First off, gotta acknowledge and salute to my assistant, Coach Kawika, who has been nominated, well deserved, for the Salute to Service. West Point grad. He served the Army for 8 years. He flew Apache helicopters in Operation Freedom in Iraq. So definitely have to get behind him, Vikings Nation. Vote for him. You can go to NFL.com, salute the service. Votes do not end all the way up until November 30th, so we got a lot of time to do it. Let's get behind him. He's been a true asset for me and for this organization, and I don't think anyone deserves it more than him. And if you can show me a candidate, please do. So I kind of leave it at that. If you just kind of look at the game overall, I thought we did a really good job. I thought Mr. Wright punted the football really well, especially considering we had a lot of backed up -10 type of punts. Did a really good job of flipping the field, kind of playing the field position game overall. I thought we did a really good job of covering and tackling really well. Obviously, we had the one kickoff that kind of broke loose. We really just lost leverage on that. And, I tell the guys all the time, if you play this game long enough, you're going to get got. And if you don't get got, well, quite frankly, you didn't play long enough. And so we kind of ended up getting got right there on that one, just kind of losing leverage. Those are things that are easily fixed and we can get corrected. But overall, looking at this game, going up against a contender, it was a really good football team who I have a lot of respect for from a special teams unit standpoint. Obviously, they just acquired Naheem Hines, who's an electric punt returner who does a really good job of getting vertical with the football. So guys are, really chomping at the bit and looking forward to this opportunity of competing against a really high level and elite unit in Buffalo. So, we'll get ready for the weather conditions and based off of how we want to adjust that. We got outside yesterday. I know we practiced indoors, but we as a special teams specialist, we got out yesterday. It wasn't too much wind out there, but it was good to just kind of get on the turf and, work in the elements a little bit.
So what do you talk about that stadium, Buffalo, with swirly winds and what have you?
Yeah, Chris, I think the biggest thing is how do we want to handle the wins, especially when you start talking about field position standpoint, once we get into the +50 territory, communicating with KO, are we in that 4-down territory? Are we in, what's the line for Greg? Will we end up kind of punting it right there? I think the biggest thing is how we drop the football. So for Mr. Wright, we have to determine, are we going to adjust the angle and how he's going to be dropping the football? Is it going to be a traditional look, or is he going to drop it more end over end type? That way, when he is dropping it, the ball isn't moving too much based off of what the wind miles per hour is going to be. That's really kind of the biggest thing there. And obviously, handling the football. Serpo's got to do an unbelievable job of snapping it back there with good velocity. That way, the wind isn't moving the spot a little too much. And Mr. Wright's got to do a great job of securing it, putting it down for G-Money to go and kick it up and through the uprights. So, the winds and our specialists have not. This will be their first time actually traveling out. Serpo's the only one who's been out there. It'll be my first time going out there. Coach Kawika has been out there. Greg has not been out there. Obviously, Mr. Wright hasn't been out there. So it's kind of new territory for all of us. And so we'll get a good beat on it, see how the crosswinds are. We kind of got some good information on where we can expect the winds to be going, and we'll be able to kind of dictate and predicate it off of that.
How long do you get out in the stadium, like when you're out there in Buffalo?
Usually probably try to get it like 3 hours before the game. Typically try to get out there about 3 hours before the game.
Been around some good teams. What about this team and the vibes and the chemistry of it stands out to you, maybe compared to teams past and different?
Oh, for sure. Good question, Alec. I think the biggest thing is, and, I am a huge component of chemistry, right? How, a lot of people talk about it. Oh, you need to connect with different position groups. Running backs need to connect with defensive linemen. Defensive linemen need to connect with, offensive linemen. And so what happens is this process started all the way back into the preseason where KO did an unbelievable job of scheduling to where bigs lifted with skill players and skill players lifted with bigs. And so you kind of ended up interconnecting all of those guys just from a weight room standpoint where they're lifting with each other. And it wasn't offense lifting with offense or defense lifting with defense. It was more so bigs lifting with skills lifting with bigs. And so when you're able to kind of get that type of relationship going, that right there is really what creates that true unit and that true chemistry of what we discuss and talk about. And I talk about it a lot with my players. There's a difference between player-led teams and coach-led teams. And when you hit adversity in a game and things aren't going the way that you want them to, and we always talk about don't blink, don't flinch. And what happens is that when things hit the fan during a game, you want to have players leading players in those moments. And because there's only so much a coach can do, right? I mean, we do all the game plan and the schematics and all that, but we're not the ones in the trenches, right? We're not the ones out there making the plays on the field, communicating with players on the field. It's players communicating with players who's doing that. And so when things aren't going right or things aren't going our way and we do hit that adversity, you want to see the Kirk Cousins, the CJ Hams, the Josh Metellises, the Harrison Smiths, the P2s. Those guys are the ones who's joining guys up on the sideline like, hey, we got to get it together, or whatever the case may be, whatever the communication might be on the sideline. You want to see players leading players on game day when those adverse situations do hit, rather than having a coach kind of being the one to get the guys riled up and this and that. But because at the end of the day, again, right, coaches aren't the ones out there who's making the plays, who's in the trenches working with those guys. It's the players. And so, you look at it, I was a part of the 2018 LA Rams team and went to the Super Bowl. And we were a player-led team. It was the Todd Gurley's, the Jared Goffs, the Aaron Donalds that really fueled that team right there that really had us kind of go on, throughout that season where we had a lot of success. Whereas 2019, kind of the same exact team, but a little bit different. That was more of a coach-led team. And, that is where we didn't see as much success because of that. And so that's right there is kind of what's in my opinion, has been the most eye-opening thing for me, is that we have a true player-led team that is backed by really good coaching leadership.
It's only been 8 games, but are there any moments like that stand out through these 8 games where?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can look at the last game, right, where we're down 10 points, and Kirk Cousins and the defense, and Harrison Smith comes to Kirk Cousins, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to find a way to get the football back here in order to go ahead and make this a one-possession game. And surely enough, defense goes out and gets that job done. And so those are the type of situations that you see. And, we are finding many different ways to win football games, which is going to help us in the long run, right? Help building up that callous to where, we're down 10 points, or where we're facing a little bit of adversity at home versus the Arizona Cardinals. And we just continue to grind it out, and find ways to win football games. And I think at the end of the day, for us, we have a true identity of how we are winning football games, and that's playing just complimentary football.
Anything else, Coach?
Dan Chisena wanted me to ask you, why is he called Hot Sauce?
So, hot sauce. All right. So, the reason why Dan Chisena is called it's called hot sauce is because he has the combination of speed, right? But he also can sauce you up at the line of scrimmage. So there's a combination of the speed mixed with the sauce at the line of scrimmage. So
I asked him, he had no idea.
yeah, that's why. So hot sauce, if that's you want to know why, that's why. All right. Hot sauce. Yeah. Cool. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, I got one more. Just,
What's up?
the celebrations on the plane and the thing after Harrison Smith's.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your take on all
I
that?
love it. And that's at the end of the day, right? You talk about this being a multi-billion-dollar industry. But at the end of the day, it's still a game, and we promote so much. It's a business atmosphere, business. But you gotta find a way to have fun with it at the end of the day, Chris. And so when guys are able to go out there, relax, play fun, play free, right, and enjoy playing with their teammates right there, that's just kind of the result that you get right there. Guys just going out and doing their business, but also having fun at the end of the day. And I think we look forward to these road games, because the road victory plane ride back home is always very entertaining, to say the least. I think it seems as though a lot of people getting a kick out of that, So, cool. Appreciate y'all.